By the end of this video, you will have understood the depth and hidden insights about the Garden of Eden. Many of us can compare this place as if it was like the normal gardens, but it was more than what we can ever imagine. Imagine a place described as paradise. No other place in this world is described as paradise, but only the Garden of Eden. Do you know the mysteries of it? Now just stick around until this video ends, and I promise you that by the time it ends, your spiritual eyes of understanding shall be enlightened. God created man and woman in his own image, but he created them after a special event. But what is that event? In my opinion, I believe God created man and woman in his own image after pride overtook Lucifer, the perfection of God's creation. I know all of you are wondering, how comes that? It's okay, I will explain to you why. On the first day, God created the heavens and the earth. So, what is the first word mentioned? Heaven, not so? Yes, God first created the heavens and then the earth. That means God first created the hosts of heaven before the hosts of the earth. We come back to our first question. How comes that the creation of man in God's image was because of the sin in the heart of Lucifer? He was created perfect and was described as the bright morning star and the seal of perfection, which means no other was created better or compared in beauty like Lucifer. Besides that, he was filled with wisdom. He is compared to a tree that grows taller than other trees in the forest. He was better than anyone, and he knew it in his heart that he was better than anyone. That would not be bad, but what caused the error? Lucifer is not in God's image. Why? Lucifer is an angel called the cherub, mostly described as having 4 faces. In the front of a human, in the back of an eagle, on the right of a lion, and on the left of an ox. The cherubim has 4 faces, straight legs, and the hooves of an ox, so when it moves, it doesn't turn while moving. That's the simple description of a cherub. Lucifer was this being and was created perfect. We come to our question then. When pride took hold of the heart of Lucifer, he was no longer in the image of God, and God said, "Let us make man in our own image." And man was made east of Eden and put in paradise. But because man was in the image of God, all angels were summoned to worship man, including Lucifer. Michael was the first to worship, and then several angels came also and worshipped man. So Lucifer was summoned also to worship man, and he came with his fellow angels under him. He said, "I can't worship man, for he is younger than me, and I can't worship him. Instead, he must worship me." Michael said to him, "You must bow down and worship the image of God, or else he will be wroth." So basically, the reason for this was to humble all the angels, especially Lucifer, before God. This was right to do, for if Lucifer worshipped man, it wouldn't mean man was better than him, but simply that Lucifer much honored God, even his image. But Lucifer refused and said, "I shall not worship man. Instead, he must worship me. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will ascend to the highest." Then immediately, because of Lucifer's reaction, his fellow companions also refused to worship man. Immediately, Lucifer was banished from his place in heaven to earth. Many of you can ask a simple question. Why was Lucifer angry with man? Man was the reason Lucifer lost his place in heaven. That's why he tempted the woman in the garden, so they also would lose their place in paradise. So that's what happened in the Garden of Eden, when man and woman were cast out of the garden. Do you know what happened next? They wandered in the outside world, wandering without hope for 7 days. Without eating, they started looking for something to eat, but found nothing for 7 days. They had gotten used to the life of the garden, no sowing or reaping, but fruit available at any time. Eve owned all the trees of the fruits of the south of the Garden of Eden, and Adam owned all the trees of the fruits of the north of the Garden of Eden. But now, in the barren wasteland outside the Garden of Eden, Adam said to Eve, "I am going to head over the river Tigris and lament and cry out to the Lord." Maybe he will be merciful to us and take us back into the garden. So this is what happened. Man and woman, knowing neither how to sow nor reap, were in despair. In that process, an angel appeared to them with some seeds and taught them how to till the ground. By that time, Eve was 3 months pregnant. Their firstborn was Cain. Many questions come to our minds. One of them is this: does Satan live with us here on earth? In my opinion, the answer is yes. Satan lives with us here, and the reason for his downfall was that he failed to worship the image of God and so despised the commandment of God. What we understand is that Satan hates man so much, yet why does he hate him so much? He is still our accuser until Judgment Day. His first ambition was accomplished when man lost paradise, and his second ambition is for us to lose the second paradise, which God is preparing for us, heaven. Satan lost his place in heaven forever, for the outcome of pride is death, downfall, and destruction. Do you know that man and woman lamented so much because they lost the Garden of Eden? Eve lamented the most. The reason why they lived much longer is that none of them had known death before. Once they realized death, they started perishing from the face of the earth. But note that they regretted and wept because they lost the Garden of Eden, even up to the point of death. Eve died weeping and regretting because she ate the forbidden fruit and lost the beautiful paradise. This is part 1. In part 2, I will dive deeper into the hidden depths. I'm going to analyze a simple yet profound question and its answer, not common, but primitive. How is it that in these days people bury the dead? When Adam died, the angels of heaven buried him and his wife in the Garden of Eden. It was commanded for future generations that all the dead must be buried. Abel, whom Cain slew, was also buried together with Adam in the Garden of Eden. I think by the end of this video, you have learned something important. I promise to bring you more primitive videos that will enlighten your understanding